Hello and welcome, everyone. I am very glad you are joining us today for the sixth and last webinar on Module 6 on Advocacy and Community Leadership, part of the EcoFamily's webinar series. This last session will help you better understand how to raise your voice for change, lead within your community, and build impactful campaigns. So let's get started. Here are the 5 subtopics that will be covered in this module: understanding advocacy, types and tactics of advocacy, principles of community leadership, building an advocacy campaign, leading for social impact. So, what is exactly advocacy? Advocacy is the act or process of supporting, recommending, or speaking out in favor of a cause, policy, or group of people. It involves raising awareness, influencing decision makers, and mobilizing communities to create change. Why is it important? Because advocacy amplifies voices that are often unheard, drives social and policy changes, empowers communities, and promotes equity, justice, and human rights. To be an effective advocate, you need a strong set of skills. So let's go through them. Firstly, you will need some communication skills, which will help you make your voice heard. And this can be public speaking, persuasive writing, or storytelling. Then you will need some critical thinking and problem-solving skills. These are about analyzing problems, challenges, and assumptions by researching solutions and evaluating evidence. Afterwards, you will need some empathy and emotional intelligence skills. By understanding others' experiences, you can build trust. Then, you will need negotiation and persuasion skills. These involve influencing decision makers, policy leaders, or the public by influencing others respectfully and ethically, or by presenting data. Then, you will need some collaboration and networking skills. By building alliances with other organizations, other activists, or stakeholders, you can build relationships, develop partnerships, and build coalitions across many sectors. And lastly, you will need some planning and organizing skills. Learning how to manage time, learning how to set goals or run campaigns. It will help you with the logistical planning and goal setting of organizing campaigns, events, and communication. These are not just professional skills, they are also life skills that can help you lead with impact. Here are a few inspiring examples. The civil rights movement in the US. In order to combat racial inequity and segregation, leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr. organized nonviolent demonstrations, marches, and court cases throughout the American civil rights movement. Another great example is Greta Thunberg, a single student who sparked a global climate movement, and migrant advocacy in Cyprus, where individuals and NGOs fight for migrant communities' access to legal protections, work opportunities, and education. These show how advocacy can start from small but lead to big change. There are 3 types of advocacies. The individual advocacy, when one person speaks or acts on behalf of another to protect and promote their rights, access, or well-being. The community advocacy, where Organized efforts by members of a specific community addresses shared concerns or injustices that directly affect them. And lastly, systems or policy advocacy, where influencing laws, policies, or institutional practices to address broader structural issues. Some common tactics of advocacy is firstly lobbying, with direct interaction with policymakers or public officials to persuade them to adopt a specific policy or change. Then, by campaigning, a coordinated set of actions over time designed to build public support and momentum around an issue. With media outreach, using traditional or digital media to shape public opinion and raise visibility. Petitions, a formal request signed by many people showing collective support. And lastly, coalition building, forming alliances between groups or organizations to amplify voice and resources. Now let's talk about leadership. Advocates are often also community leaders, and good leadership is based on these core principles. Empathy. The empathetic individual helps leaders connect across differences, build trust, and show compassion. Integrity. This person has the ability to inspire trust and sets a positive example. Vision. Having a clear idea of what change is needed and how to achieve it. Inclusivity. This person promotes equity and collective ownership. There are different styles of leadership, and each one can be effective depending on the context. Firstly, the transformational leaders follow the transformational style, focusing on inspiring and motivating others to exceed expectations and embrace change. Then, the participative or democratic leaders follow the participative style, encouraging the team input and shared decision making. And lastly, servant leaders follow the servant style, prioritizing the needs of others first, especially the marginalized or vulnerable groups. Think about which style you'd naturally lean toward, or when to use each style. So, how do you build an actual advocacy campaign? Here is a step-by-step roadmap. Firstly, you need to define the issue. Identify what needs to change and why it matters, and be clear, specific, and focused. Then, conduct research. Gather data, case studies, community feedback, and legal or policy background. Also, understand the causes, the impacts, and who has the power to change it. Then, set SMART goals. And by SMART, we refer to specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Then identify the stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people and institutions who are affected by the issue, able to influence it, like school boards or NGOs and potential allies. And lastly, develop your message. It should be clear, emotional, and tailored to your audience. This structure gives your effort focus and direction. Now, let's bring it all together. Leading for social impact. This is about going beyond short-term projects to build lasting change in systems and communities. Other leading for social impact means going beyond temporary actions and individual projects. It involves building lasting change in systems, policies, or communities through visionary, inclusive, and strategic leadership. Some key strategies are storytelling, to highlight real experiences, accessible language to avoid jargon, shared identity to emphasize what unites people, and always include a clear call to action. Tell people exactly what they can do to help. Leaders need to translate community voices into messages that decision makers can hear, understand, and act upon. Here's how to influence. Understand the system. Know who holds the power, who are the elected officials, who are the school boards and the ministries, etc. Build relationships. Start conversations, attend public meetings, send emails or letters. Present clear evidence. Use personal stories supported by data or research. Propose solutions. Don't just protest. Offer alternatives and recommendations. Stay respectful and consistent. Your credibility is the key. Thank you for being here today. I hope you're living with a deeper understanding of advocacy and how you can lead change in your own community. You can find more resources, tools, and videos at ecofamilies.eu or on our YouTube channel. Just search for Ecofamilies Project. Let's keep growing and advocating together.